My name is Vicky, and I'm a member of the Canadian-Philippine Solidarity Organization. I'm currently at CEAS, and we are at an event hosted by Anakbayan Toronto, making art and discussing the martial law. The martial law was like a significant critical event in the Philippines. A lot of the legacy of the policy has carried over today, so we can still see the effects in terms of like the labor export policy, the red tagging, the fervent anti-communist environment, and also under Marcos Jr., there's been a lot of historical revisionism that's been erasing the full scale and tragedy that happened under the martial law period. I was really touched by people kind of connecting their own personal experiences to like this historical moment. So a lot of people here are descendants of people that had to leave the country because of either red tagging or because of like the labor export policy. I think in Canada and the West, we don't kind of tend to neglect Southeast Asian politics and history, which is honestly wrong, because as you know, global citizens, we should show solidarity to these countries. Also, we live in the imperial core, and we are directly part of the issues that exist in the Philippines today. Like Canadian imperialism and like American Western imperialism in general is a big reason why the Philippines is in its current economic and political state.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My name is Sarah, and I'm from Canadian-Philippine Solidarity Organization, CPSO. There's a lot of things that we can learn from the activists and students and workers of the past who were fighting for justice and liberation that are very applicable to the issues of the Philippines and the Filipino people's right to justice. Even now, being able to look back on history and draw from what was happening there, apply it to our analysis.
My name is Sophia de Guzman, and my affiliation is ABTO. I think that it's important because when we look at the situation in the Philippines, martial law lives on in many, many different ways, not only just in pieces of legislation, but in the economic conditions, in the armed struggle, in the political turmoil that's currently impacting Filipinos both in the Philippines and abroad. I think talking about, it's just specifically in my case, even though this is not how my family came to Canada, talking about overseas Filipino workers and just the labor export program and the idea that, Filipinos often can't stay in the Philippines is something that resonates with me a lot, because I think a lot of Filipinos, especially those who aren't organized in North America or wherever they are, have a shared feeling of not belonging or being disenfranchised where they are. And it's because they didn't move by choice. They were forced to leave, where they were supposed to be. They're forced to leave their homes. So I think that's what stood out to me, or what I think about a lot. It's important for us to know about martial law because it's shaping the conditions. If you have any family that's in the Philippines, martial law is foundational to understanding the material conditions that your family is experiencing. And particularly for those of us who are in Canada, the comforts that we might experience while living here, especially those of us who are born here, who have permanent status, we are complicit in such a way that the privileges that we enjoy are based off of an imperialism and a global system of imperialism that Canada is complicit in. So Canadians, like me, for example, I am enjoying a privilege that Canada is only this wealthy because it takes part in a global system of imperialism, which takes from Filipinos and many other countries, but it takes from Filipinos and Filipinos' labor. Under Marcos Jr.'s rule, he is taking more legalistic means to be able to perpetuate the same problem without the same, international scrutiny and without, arousing the suspicion of the international community. But we can see that he has the same intentions reflected in his attempt at his interest in a constitution change, in his interactions with the US government, allowing them to build more bases in the Philippines and those sorts of things. Philippines is an incredibly wealthy country, and Filipinos should be thriving, should be enjoying the fruits of not only their labor, but just the amount of resources that they have. And it is fundamental to the reason that they don't get to enjoy those things, the Philippines government's tie and allowance for US imperialism in the country.